Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the Friday Live with CraftStash. We've got an exciting live. I say this every week because I'm so excited by the products that CraftStash give us every week, but extra special for me this week because it's my own launch of the newest textures range. So this is geometrics. Plus, we've also got an announcement of the winner from the last section of our big Craftathon that we did on Wednesday. And I'm going to be announcing the grand total that we've raised too a little bit later on. So stay tuned for all of that. We've also got giveaways, of course, too. So I'm going to be giving away now. I thought usually we give you a little bit of the products, but I thought, do you know what? You can have the whole collection. 3 of you can win the whole of the brand new Geometrics collection, which I'm going to go through in just a moment. So that is going to be 2 of you live from watching right now. So get commenting. What I'd like to know is, let me see. Let's just see, what are your plans for the weekend? At the moment, it's sunny. It's been raining. Are you going by the weather? Have you got other things planned? Is it Easter plans maybe early? Who knows? Let me know in the comments and we will have, well, actually we've got the lovely Hilary sitting in the background as always. One day we'll bring Hilary on because we talk about her all the time, don't we? And she's always there picking your winners' names, answering comments. She's usually sending you links in the comments as well when you ask about product. So Hilary will choose the winners for today, and then there'll be a 3rd chance to win also. So, should we go through geometrics first of all? Please make sure you're tagging your friends, you're sharing this live also. If you're on Facebook, you can just use the arrow underneath. If you're on YouTube, I think you can copy link and share and just let people know that you're watching. So would you like to come down to my desk? I'll say hello to a few people in just a moment. I'm on my own today, so it's doing a few jobs at once, so hopefully I won't miss anything out. In fact, while you just take a little look at my favourite stamp set of the whole collection, I'll just read a few comments first of all. I'll go right back to the beginning because I know some of you join us really early. Let's see. Oh, Natalie Washbrook was the first to comment, and do you know what? Congratulations, Natalie, because I know you won one of the giveaways on the Craftathon as well, so thank you for donating. She said, oh, so many comments, it's jumping. Looking forward to this. I ordered mine. I can't wait for them to arrive. Yay! Rena Hurst, excited once more for a morning of learning. Is it morning for you, Rena? It's afternoon here, maybe, you know, it's only just afternoon, isn't it? And Debbie Plowman, hello to you. Lots of others on YouTube. Let's flip over to Facebook and have a look at you all there. It just needs to catch up because, of course, I come off the Wi-Fi to make sure your stream's nice and stable for you. So Facebook comments are just catching up, but I'm sure there's lots of you there watching. So, yes, textures. So, do you know what? I've actually lost count of the amount of collections I've bought out with textures now. And I've actually started bringing you smaller collections because I know a lot of you love to be able to get everything in a collection because it all mixes and matches beautifully, but sometimes budgets just don't stretch every month or 6 weeks or so to a full, say, 10 items. So I've brought this one down to just 5 items for you, but I've put my heart and soul into these. I really love this look. It's almost like a kind of tattoo-esque look as well, which I adore. And I must admit, I do have a tattoo a bit similar to this, but with a cat's face in. Haven't given you that image because it's kind of personal, but similar sort of thing going on here. So geometrics, very, very on trend at the moment. These are 2 stamp sets around about A6 each, but you've also got additional extras. So you've got things like the circles and the triangles, so you can build up your texture in the background. We've also got sentiments, so beauty is everywhere. Beautiful just the way you are. Chase your dreams and let your spirit soar. I must admit, I don't know why that one's upside down, but obviously it all stamps the same way. Oh, and you've got the honeycomb one there, which actually wasn't supposed to be a honeycomb. It's supposed to look more like sort of cells linking, you know, that scientific type image diagram, but do you know what? It looks like honeycomb. That's fine. We'll go with it. And I love the texture that these have. I will be demonstrating these. Let's have a look at a couple of cards using these. So as you can see there in the background, lots of layering, some gold embossing as well onto a gorgeous paper, which I'll come to in a little while. Additional extras, so some wording there, some triangle shapes that have been die cut out. And I've also embossed that dragonfly onto white cardstock in gold, cut that out and layered it over the original image. So if I lift that up, you can see the original stamped image underneath. So that's the sort of thing you can be doing with this. This, I have to say thank you to the lovely Lou Withers. She has created some beautiful cards for me and coloured images using these stamp sets too. This is a really, really quick, simple one, just simply stamped onto a watercolour background. Now I used my Textures watercolour inks for this. I think they're still available on CraftStash. There's in each of the colourways, there's 5 15ml bottles, and they go a long, long way. Bear in mind, I've had these for, I want to say, well over a year now, and I'm still using them. They're not even, maybe the blue is halfway down because it's my favourite colour, but you use such a tiny amount of them for each project that you're doing. This is another one from Lou. She's also used that gorgeous sort of holographic, is it called angel hair? I love it, absolutely beautiful. Her colouring is phenomenal as well, and very simple. The quickest card I think I've ever made, just stamped onto a nice background there. Again, come to that later, and a sentiment popped on. Now, this one has been ever so popular already as well, and it's a little bit unusual. It's a background stamp. It's A6 in size, and this one is called a half-tone stamp. So if you've not explored clear stamps that closely, a half-tone means that so a stamp is very often made up of lines and dots and such, as you probably know, but this is made up of tiny, tiny little dots. And all they do is, in the manufacturing process, they give you a bigger space between the dots to create a lighter tone. So this actually stamps in both light and dark tones. I will be demonstrating that, but look at this. When you layer the two colours up, you can see. So I've stamped one in the turquoise, and you can see the light to dark in triangles there. Then I've just flipped the stamp over, re-stamped it over the top. In a pink, you've got the light to dark through the triangles again, and then you've also got this overlapping, creating other colours, almost a purple colour in there when you overlap those. A really good fun stamp to play with. So there's an example of purples and greens together with a really nice gold outline. Again, come to that in a moment. And this one here is just using the stamp the once, but creating an ombre effect with a nice, I think it was like a milled lavender and maybe peeled paint or something like that. Two pale colours in the Distress Oxide ranges, and just using them across the one image, ombreing that. So coming to those other outlines that we saw, I'm just going to catch up on the Facebook chat very, very quickly. Christine Howard, hello to you. She says, love geometrics. Laurie Vick says, wow, gorgeous. I still have your very first stamps. Oh, the reflections ones. Thank you. I love those. I must admit, each time I come out with a new collection, I think I love it more than the last. And then I revisit one from a few months ago. I thought, oh, do you know what? I really love this one too. That's the beauty of being able to create your own designs. Nikki Gilbert, did you see Nikki on the fantastic Craftathon? She did some beautiful, beautiful cards. Absolutely loving the look of your new collection. Thank you so much, Nikki. I'm sure you will be seeing some of it soon in Creative Stamping. Oh, you haven't asked me yet. No, I have done these ones. I did do these for you. You've seen it already. I'm losing track of what I've done and what I've not. So this is a die set, 2 panel dies in here. These are both A6 in size. Now these are really good fun because we have, first of all, we've already visited this one, so let's look at this in more detail. So we've got the outlines there. That is beautiful on its own, but as you can see, it perfectly outlines. I've just done it in white there. Perfectly outlines and goes around that stamp, that triangle stamp, which I've done in gold there, but it's also beautiful on its own as well. And then we've got another panel die. So talking about geometrics, aren't they cool? Now I think the best way for me to show you that, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, it just looks three-dimensional and almost make your eyes go funny, but really good fun. I will show you that one in just a moment, but look at this. So that's just the silver overlaying those triangle stamps. And then look at this one. Now, I'll admit this one took a little while. You don't have to sit and paper piece everything back in, but I did, glutton for punishment. But you can go in with your pens and you could just add ink in between each of the lines if you prefer to do that way. And a simple sentiment, that's really fun. And of course, it doesn't matter which way you put this, whether it's vertical or horizontal, even diagonal if you wanted to. You'll get the similar sort of three-dimensional look. It just looks as if the card's doing this, doesn't it? And there's just another example of that stamping it with embossing, and just to show you how the outline die works so well just by layering it up on top. So this is just a scrap piece that I did some embossing on just to try out different colours and textures, but you can see how that overlays beautifully. Now this this die set is all about building your own geometric shapes. So we saw the fully finished designs in the stamps, These work with these, which you'll see in the demonstration, but they also work separately as well on their own. You've got some words there. Now, I love my fonts. That's what Textures is all about, bringing in texts and fonts, but also building up your own shapes. So we've got circles, diamonds, and triangles in there. They're larger than they show on the pack. In fact, let me show you this. So here's a card using them. So this is an example of how you can build up your own shapes with them. I've created this into a shaker card with an aperture. You can see the sort of size of those words as well. And then we're looking at, of course, those papers in the background, which we'll see in a moment. So this sort of shape you can build up in any way you like. I'm going to be doing another one of these sort of designs in demonstration, so please do hold on for that. And the lovely Lou Withers, this is another one that she's created, and you can see she's used the die cut triangles in amongst some inking and such like, and then of course the word, which, oh no, that's just caught a little bit, that just needs to be glued back down. But you can see where she's used the word thanks there. I don't want to fiddle with that too much. I need to get my tweezers and make sure that's absolutely perfectly glued back on there. And I keep referring to these, don't I? The papers. Do you know what? Let's just show this one. This one Lou did as well. I love the texture. I love all of the detail that Lou puts into her cards. The colorways are taken from one of the papers or a couple of the papers. You can see in there we have got all sorts. So we've got cutouts from so you can see there's a circle there and there's a triangle there. They come from those dies, but instead of using the outlines, using what comes out of them, so the waste. And then she's also used that panel die, the triangle panel die. You can see that in the background too. So the papers. Laurie just said, I lost my crafting mojo during lockdown, and watching this and the Craftathon is so inspiring. I feel it's creeping back. What a super collection, Lou. Thank you. I hope you do get it back. Well, lots of crafting today. I'm hoping not to run over the hour, but you know, if I do, I do. Hopefully you'll all stay with me a little bit longer if I do, because I've got so much to show you. So we have got Geometrics papers. So look at these. I adore a galaxy. I love a galaxy paper. Now I love making the effect with my distress oxides and inks and things like that, but you know what, when you've got ready-made papers, it just saves you time and usually a lot of mess as well. So there's two different designs of galaxies, one warmer colors, one cooler colors. You've even got the stars in there as well. Then you've got this one, so like your watercolor effect with your constellation type design over the top. Love that. This one is all about scientific formulas and such. I just think it's a really lovely background. You could just do a wash of watercolour over the top of that, some stamping, and it's lovely and detailed. If you need something subtle, and you can add your own colours to it, so you don't have to have lots of colour in there. Now we've seen this paper as well throughout some of the cards that I've shown you. I love that ombre, but rather than just having an ombre, we've got it with that kind of that depth, that detailed and textured design, and this is kind of the texture that I was going for with that panel die that looks like the cubes as well. And the last of the papers here is this one. Now I wanted something that brings in the text that matches really well with the word dies as well. So we've got those large words which are just here. So we've got love you, hello, happy, thanks, birthday. You can mix and match those in any way you like. But then you have hundreds of words here that you can also mix and match with these. And again, coming back to this card here, you can see how I've done that so well. I always think this font, which looks like one of those printed labels, works brilliantly with a handwritten or brush script. It just works. The free-flowing style works really well with that solid font. So you've got all of these that you can cut out if you want to. For example, we've got happy day, birthday special today, you are the very best for us from your anniversary. It's just love, because and it goes through. So down here we've got fiance, mother, mum, father, dad, boy, partner, step, aunt, uncle, son, girl. You get the idea. We've even got teacher in there. We've got nana, ma, pa, grand. We've got s in there, so you can make things a plural if you want to. There's so much, you can snip into those. So these sheets are I think they're 190 GSM. I'll double check. Yes, they are 190 GSM. So there's 6 designs. It's a pack of 24, so you're going to be getting 4 of each of the designs, and they're A5. So that's everything in the new textures range. Now, before I start demonstrating, I'm just going to come to you. Let's just say a quick hello to a few more of you as well. Let me see. Hello to Sharon Elaine Jones. Hi, how are you? Thank you for watching. Karen Allen says, OMG, those papers are so lush. Lush, I haven't used that word for a long time, but yeah, I do love them. I must admit, I'm a big fan of these papers. I've wanted galaxies and such for such a long time. So we're going to be demonstrating this, but one thing I also want to show you, and we will look into it after the first demonstration, is that when you're spending over £15 on the geometrics, you're going to be able to pop a Papercraft Society box into your basket, and you'll get that for just £12.99. You can see all the details on craftstash.co.uk. When you go on CraftStash, onto the home page, the first thing you get at the top is a banner, which gives you an offer. And if you just wait a few seconds, that banner will scroll onto the next offer, then the next, then the next. So if you click on any of those offers that take your fancy, it takes you to the page that explains the offer, gives you the details, shows you where the products are and such like. So a really easy way to find a lot of our deals. So Papercraft Society box, only £12.99, usually £27.99, so you're saving quite a lot of money there when you're purchasing £15 worth of the new geometrics. So I will go through this as kind of my second demonstration. We'll have a look through the box. But shall we come down and actually do some actually, shall we have one other quick look at something before, because I don't want to forget this. Bargain of the week. Okay, if you haven't noticed, just lately, the last few weeks, we've had a bargain of the week every week, and it's something that starts on a Friday, finishes the following Friday before the next item comes in. An absolute bargain, as in we've got tiny stocks of it and we're just almost giving it away. So our bargain of the week this week is going to be the Fields of Dreams paper packs and stamp bundles. So I'll show you the papers actually in just a second. You can see the stamps there, but I will flick through the papers. Absolutely beautiful. You're saving £12 on this huge bundle. Okay, go and have a look at that online. Again, this will be one of those scrolling banners at the top of CraftStash. So keep an eye out every single week for our bargain of the week. So let's just take a very quick look through those papers, because these are beautiful. So stunning poppies, but you've also got cornflowers in here as well. And you've got some panels and borders and sentiments and such that you can be using. I mean, look at that. Isn't that just so pretty? Really gorgeous elements, bright, vivid colours. They're single-sided, so you don't have to think about arguing with yourself about which side of the paper. Look at those bumblebees. And this is just half of that bundle, because you're going to be getting those stamp sets as well. So there's sentiments in there and there's floral stamps too. Beautiful. There's a lot in there. So that's the 8x8. And then the 6x6 is the same but different. So slightly different, as in it's scaled down. Some of the papers are scaled down. Oh, look at that cornflower. And this is my favourite one. Look at that watercolour background. So some of the images are scaled down, some are completely different, and some of the banners are completely different, so that the pages that you cut into are completely different as well. Let's find the front page to that. Right, on to demonstration first of all. Don't forget to please comment. Let me know what you're up to this weekend. That's all I want to know. And then Hilary will be picking a winner at the end to send out a full collection to people. So let's see, where are my items? Here they are. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by showing you this die set, because this one is probably the one that I feel I need to explain the most, because it's so versatile. There's so much you can do with it. Oh, I also need to tell you, I'm going to be doing a gel plate demonstration during this hour as well. So if you're interested in gel plate, I'll be doing that. Hold on for that. I've got so much to show you. So all I've done is I have taken one of these sheets of the A5 paper. I'd say one of my favourites, but they're all my favourites. And I've trimmed it down. So this is a Craft Perfect cardstock. You can get these at CraftStash. It's my go-to cardstock at the minute. More than anything, I absolutely adore the colours and the weight of it, and it's got texture to it. So that's the Craft Perfect cardstocks. I've just trimmed the A5 down to fit a folded A4. So just taken a little bit, a few millimetres off of each edge there using my trimmer. And I always use the Creative Craft Products trimmer. It's fantastic. And you can get spare blades as well, which, to be honest, I still haven't needed to change my blade. Now, what I'm going to do is just cut an aperture into this. I think I'm going to do a circle. So So I've got some pieces already cut out that I'm going to be using, because there's only so much die cutting you're going to want to see. You want to see the card put together, don't you? So I've cut out the largest of, I think that's not the largest diamond. Let me just check, or is it the largest diamond? I can't remember now. Shall I show you these dies? Shall I show you the sizes of them? No, it's not the largest diamond, it's the smaller one. So that's the largest diamond there. So we've got the diamonds, the circle, both large and small, another small diamond. So you could simply just layer up like that. We've got the long arrow as well, so you can put that through. You could put it through either way you wanted, really. Then we've got a triangle, so I've got the large triangle there, and then we've also got the smaller version as well. I can see a question mark. Oh, that's from Nikki. Would it surprise anyone to know that I'm playing with sequins this weekend for a set of cards? Absolutely not, because you just had to put your sequins on, don't you? And do you know what, talking of sequins, looky, this is from an old Papercraft Society box. I want to say it was a made to surprise one. I can't remember, but I keep them all. And then we've got our words as well. So happy, love, hello, thanks, you. And we have got birthday, but I've set that aside to cut in a little while. So you can see the size of those dies. So as I said, before I stick anything down, I'm going to just cut into this here. So a little bit of low tack tape just to hold this down. Now I'm being very careful about sticking my tape on the inside of the circle, so the bit that's going to be the waist. And the tape I'm using is this. Now this is from CraftStash. There's 3 rolls in a box, and it's an absolutely amazing price. Now last time I looked, and this was when it launched, but I think it was only $4.99 for a box of 3 of these with the holder as well. So go and have a look at that. So that's the CraftStash Creative Craft, so many careers. Creative Craft Products low tack tape. Go and search for that. Absolute bargain. Right, so let's just die cut this. Now I'm purposely using my A5 die cutting machine today because I just want to show you that not a single one of the dies in this collection needs a large machine. So I think that's important for people who do just have the smaller machines. In fact, many of these pieces you can just use with a little desktop one, like the made to surprise one, for example. So when you run any of these shapes through, now this didn't take, that's brilliant, that didn't take any of the print off of my paper, so I'd definitely save that to use again. But you can see you've got the inside that comes out, and then you've also got that really beautifully fine shape too, and you can be building that. But I'm not using those because what I wanted was the waist there. Now on this waist, or on the reverse of this waist, I'm going to put just a piece of acetate. So I'm going to attach that or adhere that. Now the best thing to adhere that with, and let me just dig it out, is red liner tape. Again, CraftStash do their own red liner tape, and it's absolutely brilliant. Now I'm just going to, let me see, let's just pop it on straight. With red liner tape you do need some scissors. You can't just tear it usually. I haven't come across a brand of red liner tape that you can tear anyway. So use your scissors with it. Pop it on there, but make sure your scissors are kept for sticky stuff. You don't really want to be using your scissors for this, that you're going to go and use for your best papers, or certainly not fabric either, because you will get a little bit of glue and gunk on over time. So just going around the edge of that. So this is just going to create a barrier for me, so I can put some sprinkles in a little while. Let's just use my pokey tool just to peel off the edges. Saves my nails. I must admit, I've been doing lots of messy things. Did you see the paint pouring that I did on the Craftathon? So I think I've just about got all of the colour out of my fingers from that, but I didn't do my nails this morning because I am going to be gel plate playing, so you're going to put up with non-done nails today. But usually if you've got lovely nails and you do struggle with getting the backing off of red liner tape, pokey tool is really handy. So I've got my little window there, you can just see it there. Now I need to pop some foam tape just on the inside of this window and around the edge of the card to create this shaker. It's going to be a really simple shaker as well. I'm going to use, oh, that's not the one. I thought that was my foam tape. Doesn't look similar at all, does it? That's my double-sided tape from CraftStash, and this is my foam tape. Now, in fact, I'm going to do this slightly differently. I'm going to bring in something from CraftStash, creative craft products I adore. And this helps brilliantly with shaker cards as well. So these are sheets of double-sided foam. Now I use these a lot for when I want to, when I've got a die cut word, for example, and I want to lift it up. But I'm going to use this to create my shaker. So I'm just going to use my big scissors and I'm going to cut down my double-sided foam. This is a black, as you can just see, it's a black coloured foam, but there is white available as well. I'm just going to use black because I want this to kind of be shadowed. I'm just going to cut myself a square that covers my aperture there. And then I'm going to find my die that I cut this aperture with, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to cut through into this. This foam can easily be die cut, and you don't have to use any special plates. You just run it through exactly the same sandwich as you would if you were die cutting paper, which is beautiful. Now I always go forwards and backwards, and I will openly admit that's just so that I don't have to lean over my machine and grab my plates from the reverse. It's just called laziness. Now I have got here, again, I've got two things. I've got the inside, so if I wanted to pop this circle onto something raised up, I've got the perfect piece of foam to do that. I've also got the perfect piece of foam for my fine border, and then I've got a piece of foam that's going to be brilliant for holding in my sequins. So now I'm carefully going to just place this over there. I go quiet just because I'm lining that up. There we go. And if I wanted this deeper, I could do this twice as well. So I've now got my section for putting all of my sequins in. So I'm just going to open a new pack of foam. This is foam tape this time. Again, all on CraftStash. You know what, CraftStash has got an amazing array of different adhesives now. Something for absolutely everyone, depending on what type of adhesive you like. I would love to know in the comments actually, what is your go-to adhesive? So if you were going for a crafting weekend but you could only take 3 adhesives with you, what would they be? I think mine would have to be, I think I'd have to say my foam sheets, because if I took pads or tape, I might not get the right length or width. So my foam sheets I could cut down to whatever size I want. So my foam sheets, my hot glue gun, everyone knows I love my hot glue gun. And then I think it would be my Sizzix Express glue inside, or Creative Expressions glue, doesn't matter, whichever one I've got at the time, inside my Pink Frog fine tip applicator. Does it matter? I've got 3 glues and an applicator there, but you know, 2 of them are kind of together. So there I've got what I'm going to have for my shaker. There we go. So my sequins are here. I don't know how much we're going to get through today, everybody. Let's see the comments. Maz Nicholson Smith says, I need to sort out my dies. Since my move, I cannot seem to find anything. Oh, do you know what? I had a bit of a funny moment this morning. So I've just moved as well, as many of you know. I've just moved house and I was looking at my craft area. At home I've kept my craft area quite neat and small, and most things are here in the studio. So it's just emergency crafting from there. But I was looking at it and thinking, oh, I've got these boxes of cardstock and where am I going to put them? I've got a whole cabinet I still haven't filled because it's empty. I've completely forgotten that the cabinet was empty. I thought it was full up with things and I had all these excess boxes. So tonight or tomorrow over the weekend, my job is going to be sorting those out. So just checking that I've just put those sequins in the right area, and now I can peel off the backing for each of these, and then we'll start building up the whole geometric look to this card. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this piece here. There we go. Now line this. It's ideal if you can get your head over the top. I can't because my head would be in your way, but if you can get your head over the top, because once you pop that down your sequins are likely to be static. There we go. So I've got my sequins in there. Obviously on camera every time I move that you're just going to get a blur, So that's those. I should have actually put a little bit of anti-static powder around the inside of that foam, and I forgot. But do you know what? It's good for you to see mistakes, I suppose, as they happen. Next, I've got those lovely gold elements here. So I tend to do, I'm going to put the circle down first. It doesn't matter which order these go in. Take my fine tip applicator. Rather than me sitting here trying to put my glue around here, I'm going to apply it to the inside of this. Come on. Let's see, I just filled this up. Sometimes, just occasionally, the needle inside the lid doesn't quite go inside the nozzle. It just goes to the side of it. So do be careful if you've got one of these applicators. Just make sure the needle is going inside. Come on, you can do it. Or I'm going to have to get another glue out. I'm going to have to get another glue out. I'm going to have to spend a minute or two unblocking that. I've just filled it up as well. Never mind. Let's see, what else have I got? I have got my Cosmic Shimmer. Here we go. It's got a fairly fine tip to it. So let's just allow that to run down. This is quite full up as well, so I shouldn't have a problem with this. Just going to go around the edge of there. That's so much easier than trying to glue a fine piece of gold mirror card whilst holding it in the air. So put that one down first. Now let's have a look at where I'm going to put these pieces. So is that one going to go like so? And then I think, should we put that one like that? Because then we've got that shape, I've got sticky fingers, the shape of the triangle inside of the triangle. You see that? So I think we'll do that. Let me hold this with my tweezers this time. It's not so easy for me to see where the diamond's going to lay, so I'm going to do that on this in mid-air. There we go. Don't forget to be just commenting to win a full collection of textures. We're going to give a full collection away to 2 of you at the end of this hour. I say an hour, I can quite believe I'll probably be overrunning. So Karen says has to be a Cosmic Shimmer. You say collar and your red tape. Is that a misspell? What's collar as a glue? Oh, collal, I'd imagine. Is that what you meant? Was it Karen? Diane, lovely card. Thank you very much. I'm not finished yet though. So let's just put that there. Do you know what? Sometimes I do these geometric shapes and I see other shapes inside. It's amazing. And then we've got the arrows. Now I've cut 2 arrows depending on what size card you're making. So I'm going to put one. Make sure the arrow goes down directly through the center of those shapes. I'll move my finger out in a moment. There's one, and then I'm going to put another one on. It's almost a hot air balloon. Can anyone else see that hot air balloon shape in it? That's quite cool. So, and I only noticed that when I looked at it down through the camera. Then I'm going to put another one down. So just because this is an A5 card, so it's quite large, I'm just going to bring this down using my tweezers as a guide to go down the center there. I've got a couple of excess sprinkles there. There's a different shape, isn't it? And you've got your sequins inside there. There we go. I think maybe two layers of the foam would have been ideal to give the sequins a bit more shape, but it doesn't matter. Right, so now what we need to do is add sentiment. So I've got my word die here, birthday. That comes from one of the die sets. Let's just pop this through the die. And then what I've also got is the paper pack. I said to you, didn't I? I've got lots and lots of words here. So this is just a snippet of one of the papers. And I'm going to mix one of those words. So I can do happy birthday, happiest birthday, special birthday, birthday today, birthday love, appreciate your birthday, there's so much on there you can mix and match, and that's just a small snippet of one of the pads. So imagine if you've got the whole sheet, and you've got 4 of those sheets as well. So there's a lot there. Let's just pop this aside. Do I put that across there, or do I think I'm going to do it just off to the side? I'm just looking. So this is me working it out. You can't really see it, so I've got the pinky purpley colour that comes from in the sequins. There's a pinky purpley colour in there, so I've just mixed it in with that. Do you know what, I'm just going to bring it off to the side, right off to the side, and then I think we'll have the word, there was the word happiest in here somewhere, wasn't there? Where did I see it? Oh, it's right in the middle, look, so I need to do some snipping right in there. You can do because it's your birthday, or it's your birthday. So I just love that versatility of being able to write for absolutely any occasion. That's just using the die cut word birthday. You don't even have to team it with a die cut word. You can just use these on their own. There we go. So happiest birthday, and I just need to glue those down. The next thing we're going to do is take a look through that Papercraft Society box, because if you're spending over £15 on the geometrics today, which actually I'm trying to work out how much the entire collection would be, so all 5 items in the collection, I'm not sure how much that would be, but if you're just spending £15 on anything from the collection, any of those 5 items, you're going to get the option to put the Papercraft Society box into your basket for just £12.99, usually £27.99, so you're actually saving £15 there. So essentially, if you do your maths different ways, so I'd like to do it this way, so if I'm then buying the Papercraft Society box, I can get myself £15 worth of geometrics for free. See, there's different ways of working it out. Happiest birthday, there we go. So there's just one way. Now I'm going to keep all of those papers. I'm going to put all my dies back, and let me have a look at some comments whilst I'm putting these back and getting ready to have a look through that. Let me see. Ali, hello to you. She said she loves this so much. Thank you so much. Now, obviously, geometric style is something a little bit different. It's very modern. It's not maybe necessarily for everyone, but I think we're seeing it more and more in home decor, in jewellery and things like that. So you can see those sequins moving inside. You could also extend with an arrow going through the middle as well. We could have brought that triangle up to be exactly through the middle, so you've got a cross through. It almost looked like a compass then. I can almost see like a globe shape. There's lots. Let's have a look at it this way. Oh, it looks like a hanging disco ball then. That would be, oh, I should have done it that way now. But yeah, I suppose you can chop and change, can't you? However you like. Now let's pop that to the side and let's bring in this. So this is our Papercraft Society box, the one that you're going to be getting for only £12.99. So let's have a very quick flick through in case you've not seen it before. So there is a project booklet. The reason is because it's my own one. This is one that I designed. So you've got lots and lots of projects inside the booklet, not just card making, home decor pieces as well. The focus of this box is actually quilling, which is something that until this I hadn't done for quite a few years, but I really thoroughly enjoyed creating some of these pieces. That was my favourite. This one is around about, it's at least 8 inches by 8 inches, if not bigger, a big frame there. And it is winter themed, but you know what? Grab this now and pop it aside, ready for this Christmas, this winter. Once it gets to about October, it's cold enough to be able to play, isn't it? So you've got stencils in here, as you can see, snowfall and snow flurries and flakes. You've got some stamps here as well. Now the interesting thing about this box is you've got your sentiment stamps all on one stamp. So you stamp them all together, and then you take your die, which is this, and you can see these holes on the end of each of the slots there. So they line up with the hexagons. I call them bolts because they kind of bolt on. So you stamp, you line the hexagons up with your die, you die cut those out, and you've got 4 sentiment strips cut out for you. Then you can go online and you can download these also. So maybe you're not from the UK, maybe you send cards abroad. So we've got Walking in a Winter Wonderland, Warmest Birthday Wishes, Make a Wish and Winter Greetings in English there. Then we've got some other sentiments that you can print off at home, download and print off at home, and you'll find details about this inside the project booklet. And you can print these out. So there's some English ones there. So it's the most wonderful time of year. A snowflake is a winter's butterfly. All of these different ones. And you can see those dots. So your die is going to line up with those dots and cut those out. Sorry, I folded this in half. Then we've got some French ones and some Spanish ones. There's all sorts there as well. You can see they're well used. So you've seen a little bit of the dies, but there's also some letters in there too. There's some alphabets. Not the full alphabet, so we've got the word winter, then an S, an H, and I've got an additional I there. I don't know where that's come from. And a B. So you can do HB as in happy birthday. You can do winter, and you can, with this, you can do the word wishes as well with everything in there. So you've got lots of different options for your sentiments. Let's just pop this to the side because then we've got some beautiful papers. There's also a lot else in the box too. So we've got that gorgeous knitted material. We've got the brick wall with the trees on. We've got a couple of each of these, but obviously I have been using some of them. There's another brick wall there. There's a lovely frosted effect, which you'll see on the packaging too. Now let's take a little look inside the box because there's more in here, a lot more actually. So inside here, inside the tissue, we have got our quilling tools. So we've got the template there, and there's instructions inside the project booklet on how to use all of these. You've got your quilling tool and your template. You've also got all of these quilling strips. They all come inside the box. So you've got lots and lots to be playing with there. Then we've got some gesso. Then we've got some sparkly glitter. We've got these are great. So you've got some coasters. So grey board coasters. You've also got some snowflakes, but don't forget you do get the positive and the negative. So great for creating either coasters again, or your crafting your Christmas decorations. And then we've got some cardstock. So the cardstock is in different blues. You've got lilacs in there. You've got greys in there as well. Really pretty. So that's everything that's inside that Papercraft Society box. The one that you're going to be getting for just, what did I say, £12.99 when you're purchasing £15 worth of geometrics. So I just want to do a quick hello to everybody over on YouTube because I've been sat on Facebook, so bear with me while I just pop over. Hello to everyone, to Joel Ulmer, hello to you. Laura, she says, oh, it's snowing right now. Whereabouts are you? Because it's sunny here, but it was cold this morning. Windows were steamed up and everything. Hello to Judith Barkley. It's a nice box. Thank you very much. Fifi Stamper, she loves the sentiments with the die. Great idea. Yeah, it's really good for, rather than just cutting one sentiment at a time, batch make and cut 4 at a time, and you've got all of the different printouts, so you're not restricted to just those 4 sentiments as well. Thank you so much. Keep commenting for your chance to win. We will be picking winners towards the end. Do you know what? We've got 15 minutes and I've got so much more to show you, so I'm going to stop talking for a moment. Well, I'm not going to stop talking, but I'm going to show you. Come down to my desk. Let's show you my gel plate. Now, this is something that I bought out not that long ago, actually, and I am in love with it. You may or may not have seen demonstrations with it. There are tutorials on YouTube. There's, I don't know whether they're on Facebook as well, but certainly go to YouTube, the CraftStash YouTube channel. There'll be tutorials there on how to use this. Also on my own YouTube as well. I've done like a live with it and things like that, so it's giving you lots of ideas. But I'm going to show you today how to use this. I'm going to mix it with my geometrics, and I'm going to use that beautiful stamp, but we're going to create a background first. So let's go over some gel paint basics. First of all, you need to protect your work surface because you are going to be making a little bit of a mess. Let's bring the die cutting machine out of the way. This is perfect if you love stamping, if you love your mixed media and such. I'm going to bring in my textures watercolours as well, because you can perfectly use those with your gel plate too. Now, a lot of people think that a gel plate you can only use certain types of paint with. Not true, you can use lots of different materials with. I keep mine in the packaging, so in between the acetate sheets. You can see I've got lots of ink and paint on this, and I'm not going to clean this off. I could clean it off if I wanted to. The easiest way to do that is to take some parcel tape, so clear parcel tape. Here we go. Excuse me. I did use my teeth, I apologise. Just take some parcel, it doesn't have to be clear, but if you use clear and you've got great designs in the paint, you can then reuse those on your projects and just peel off. So can you see how that's peeled off a lot of the paint? Okay, so I'm not going to work on that side, I'm going to work on this side because I've got a lot of paint on there and I love that. And if any of that happens to transfer to my project, then I'm a happy bunny. So how do we use this? Now I'm going to use it in a slightly different way. If you go over to YouTube later on, have a look at the basic way of using one of these gel plates. So you'll need a brayer. For this I'm going to use my watercolours, and I need something heavier weight to hold my watercolours, so I'm going to be using some gesso. The brand of gesso really doesn't matter. Let's just use one there. I've got a hole in my mat there. In fact, I'm going to be good. Excuse me. Just fixing my tools while I'm here. I'm just going to put a bit of tape over that hole so that the paint doesn't go through onto my mat. I don't know where the holes come from or anything like that. So I've got 2 little blobs of gesso. Now let's use from the Brights range. We've got Urban. You can see the colours on top. I've got black, brown, red. You can just see there's a blue there and there's a lilac. And then we've got a really deep red here, an orange, a deeper, like a royal blue, a bright pink and a green in the Brights range. These are still available. I assume they're still available anyway. I think they're still available. But I love these. And as you, this is my most used one, the blue one, and I've still got half in there. And I've had these for a year. So once you've purchased them, you won't likely be replacing them too soon. Let's probably don't need 2 drops, but I put a lot of gesso on there. I only really needed a small amount of gesso. So there's 2 drops of blue. And let's do the same with the pink. Just 2 little drops, that's all. In fact, if you use a smaller amount of gesso, you only need 1. It goes a long way. So with regards to preparing to do your gel plate pressing and pulling, scrap of paper there, that is for cleaning off my paint from my brayer. Okay, and then you need some paper for pulling your prints. My favourite paper at the moment to use is this, which is a sketch pad paper, just a drawing paper, and it's a craft material, so it's a slightly different colour. You can use white as well. You can just use a good quality paper, copy paper, that's the word I'm looking for, like a copy paper. But then you'll need a brayer, and I'm just going to mix this watercolour in with the gesso. You can just see there. There we go. Okay, so now I've got that all over, and see it's turned into a lovely light blue. If you use less gesso and more ink, you will get a runnier surface, but you're also going to get a deeper colour too. Okay, so I've just put some of that on my mat, and I'm not mixing it too much either. I quite like that some bits are more blue and some bits are more white, and then I'm going to do the same with the pink. Just mix that up with my brayer, just lifting off and rolling through a few times. There we go, until it's all around. It's quite runny, this, because of that watercolour ink. There we go, and then let's just, there we go. Beautiful, blue and pink. Let's put that onto the craft and see what we get. So just rubbing that over. Now I've just put my paper down. I'm just pressing that all the way over, and I'm going to just crinkle the edges a little bit so I can see where my plate is. So just fold those edges over. So when I want to reprint, I can see exactly whereabouts I'm reprinting. Now lift that up. Look at that. Yes, we're starting to get some of those colours come off. Gorgeous. This is the distressed look. You see we've got some of that ink and paint that was already on the plate previously. That's already on there. I love that. Now the next thing Let's just take, there's a little bit of paper on there. Just take that off. There's other ways of getting it off. You're better off with a cloth and just give it a wipe. The next bit I want to do, I'm going to leave that aside because I'm going to reuse that in a moment. Now this is really clever. With the paper from the textures, so that's my text paper. Now, only do this if you're prepared to lose this bit of paper because you won't be able to use this paper afterwards, but it's a really, really good effect. Let's clean my brayer off. We need a nice clean brayer, an absolute must. So let's just find another piece of paper as well because I've pretty much used that. There we go. Now I'm going to put black, and this time I'm going straight onto my plate. It doesn't matter whether you go straight onto the plate or whether you go onto your mat, load your roller up and then straight over. If you're doing one colour all the way over, you can go straight onto your plate and just spread this all the way over your plate, like so. Now this is sliding around because I've got my mat onto my self-healing mat, but usually you'd put your plate, it would stick to something like, let's say a glass mat, for example, and then it wouldn't slide around. Or you can tape this mat down. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I've got a thin layer of paint, is I'm going to press my text piece of paper in there. Now, it's worth experimenting with different printed papers with this because some papers will have a toner on them, and that toner will kind of it won't repel the ink, but it won't lift the ink up. It's a really interesting look to this. So what I'm hoping for, and it's going to be subtle, as I lift this up, I'm going to think of the best way that you can all see that. Can you see? Hopefully you can. We've got the text left on there in pieces. Let me just pop a little piece of white underneath this plate. There we go. Now there's lots of distress elements, but from that printed piece of paper, from that geometrics pad, I've got the text in the background. Now what I want to do is just give that a minute or two to dry, not too long. Let's take a look at the comments whilst I'm doing that. Paula says she loves this demo. It's amazing how it works. It is. Yes, old newspapers. That's a really good idea. Paints and glitter on YouTube. Old newspapers are really, really handy for just drying your brayer off and things like that. Well worth doing. Linda Sheridan, that is so cool. Kathy Cox, this is amazing. Crafty88 Fab ID. Yeah, it's so clever. I don't know how it works. I really don't. Now, I do need to clean my brayer off really well this time. There we go. Make sure it's really, really well cleaned off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some gesso. This will dull the colour slightly. You'll see what I mean. So when it's dry, so just do this. That was already on there. But if I just do this, it's not coming off, it's dry. Now I need to be careful with this next bit. So let's go straight onto here. So let's put some gesso. You can do it with paint, but I just find gesso's easier. Plus you get that kind of translucency to it, and I'm very lightly, ever so lightly, just rolling over the entire surface of that image. Okay, making sure that it's really pressed down onto the paint all over. Okay, every little bit has been covered over. Then I'm going to start lifting some of that paint up, and this is where it's essential that you make sure you've got a brayer that rolls and doesn't drag. Can you see there? I dragged slightly. You need to roll. Just roll until you start to see, and I can start to see it now, the print coming through. Can you see that print through the paint? Now, using again, I'm going to line this up as best I can, that piece of paper, that first print we did, pressing this down. It's very warm in here, so the paint's drying ever so quickly. A little bit more, a little bit more. And in an ideal world, you also want to use a dry piece of paper, but we're now getting the text transfer onto Oh, can you see that? It's obviously it's distressed and it's subtle, which is the look we're going for. If you love clean and simple, absolutely, of course you can do clean and simple. You can do cards like, let me just see, that's probably more your sort of thing. But this is very often mine. I love this look. So you've got that look as well, just going over the colour. You've got the print black in the background. Now I'm going to trim this down, so let me just pop this aside because I am going to have to clean all of this up later. That's just one way to use your gel plate. Now you can see I've still got some of that print on there. Now I can either take my parcel tape, I can take all of that print off onto the parcel tape, put that onto a piece of paper. I've got my own kind of backing paper then, or tags or whatever I want to make from them, or just leave it on there. I tend to just leave it on there, and then next time I come and do prints, some of that ink will come off again and again, and you never know what colour's going to come up at what time in what place. So it's a brilliant way of being unpredictable and having some really fun texture and such into your projects. So let's bring in, I've got some bits here. I think that's probably dry enough now for me to use my trimmer on. I'm just going to cut this down to size. So let's put that side in first. There we go. Now the Creative Craft Products trim is really clever because we've got a cutting blade, but we've also got the scoring blade as well. So we can do both, whether we want to cut or score, we can do both at the same time without having to switch your blades. They both sit in there. So there's my cutting one. Let me just lift this up. There's my cutting one and there's my scoring one. I just leave that down there. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look and see. So now I've cut this, it comes to just under 5 inches. So I'm going to cut this the same so it makes a square. There we go. I've got my own pattern paper. Now I've used Geometrix paper for that. There's lots of other papers, particularly in the textures ranges, that you can do this kind of print with. It's worth experimenting and having some fun with it. Let's create a card quickly. So that is going to go over there. Let's glue that down. Now what did I do with my glue? I think I probably put it away, didn't I? Ah, yes, I did. There we go. So let me see. Joe, do I ever wash the gel plate? No, unless I want to do something that is particularly clean and I want to be really precise with the colours and textures that I get from it. Then what I'll do is I'll take a microfiber cloth and I'll just use warm water. You can use, I wouldn't use detergents on it because it can actually dry the gel out. And once it's all cleaned up, once you've managed to gently rub off any excess paint and things, I would say do the parcel tape trick first because you're not damaging the surface. Then a microfiber cloth like this, just with warm water in the sink, and just rub around in circles to get what you can off. And after that, once you've cleaned all the paint and bits off that you want, take something like some baby oil, rub it into both the front and the back, because of course you can use the front and the back. Rub it into both surfaces, leave it overnight. You can pop it in between the acetate back in the packaging if you want to. Leave it overnight and that will be a completely renewed, refreshed and plate. And if you have taken any of the oils out, damaged the surface at all by washing it, that oil will kind of replace it to give it that non-stick kind of surface again. So it's really clever. Right, so let's stamp one of these, one of my favourite stamps. You know what, I'm well running over time, aren't I? It's already past. Not too long till I've finished that, and I've got lots of announcements to make as well. So let me see, let's pop this in here. So there will be 2 of you winning from the comments. Thank you for all your comments as well. I have got the winner from the last of the Craftathon videos to announce as well. There's so much for me to remember today, and I'm sure you all want to know what the grand total was from our big Craftathon. So really excited. So if you want to, if you're looking for the 3rd chance to win, if you go into the comments on Facebook, you can find at the top of the group in Facebook, you'll be able to find where the competition is to go for the 3rd chance to win. So I'm going to I've used the dragonfly in another card very similar to this, so I'm going to use the floral one, then I can show you both versions. So there is a 3rd chance to win as well if I don't call your name out in just a few moments. The competition is actually in the Facebook group, so, and it's pinned in the comments, so you'll be able to easily find that. Right, so picking up that. Now I'm just going to go straight over this. It does overlap the background, but I'm fine with that. That's fine. Let's take a black ink so it really stands out. I hope you've liked today, because this collection is a little bit different. It's, I mean, that's what textures is all about. Is about texture and dimension and layering and things like that and different things. But if you're a clean and tidy crafter, maybe it's not for you, but I hope you've still learned something today and found something interesting. So let's just stamp this all over. I love my craft platform for this reason, because I can stamp over that entire piece there. Look, overlapping the paper as well. Really easy. Love that. Right, so I have stamped that image, but to really pick that out, I'm going to add something that I prepared earlier. I've stamped the florals here onto just some white cardstock, and I'm going to lay those over there, and that will pick out the white so it looks like it's coming from the background, and that way it just gives it even more dimension. So let me see. How many of you managed to tune into the Craftathon? I'm recognising lots of the names. I did throughout the entire day. Didn't we have an amazing lineup of people as well? It was absolutely fantastic. So we've raised a lot of money. I can't wait to share with you how much we raised. It's absolutely phenomenal. There we go. So that just brings, look at all that texture and dimension, and really it's just 3 layers. You've got your white card base, your pattern paper, and then your white layer on top. Now, one thing I was going to do, and it's probably too late now. Let's see. I'm just going to quickly lift these up because I completely forgot about this bit. Whoops-a-daisy, I had prepared it, but forgot I'd prepared it. I think I'm going to get away with it. I'm just lifting these. Oh, I've lost a bud there, but never mind. Can I get that one up? And okay, I think I've saved it. I've got a diamond, and this is cut from those die cut shapes. You've got the die set there with the geometrics range. This will fit. I'm just squeezing it. You should lay this on first, really. I can't believe I forgot this one. This bit, I'm just squeezing it over the ends of the florals so that I can tuck it in. There, it just fits inside. Now let's lay those florals back down to hold that down. Didn't even apply any glue to that. If you're clever, you could actually tuck some elements in and out of that. It just adds a little more dimension and a bit of colour in there. And then I've also got the word thanks, which I think I'm going to bring down to the bottom so it's clear to see. Where's my, here we go. Haven't done too badly for time. I thought I would really badly overrun today, but it's not too bad. Now, next Friday, it's actually Good Friday, so getting ready for Easter. But I've got the lovely Christina Griffiths with me sharing her brand new card making magic collection, which you're going to adore. It's so beautiful. Honestly, it's stunning. So there we go. There's another card using the Textures Geometrics range. And then here's one I did as well. So this is also using some gel plate backgrounds, as you can see in there, just printed and cut out. I've got a couple of layers here. I didn't do this, so with this one I did it slightly differently. I actually did the solid colour in the background there on its own, and then I did the pull of the text, but I hadn't put much paint down, so it's very, very subtle. I can see it. So I've got the word heart there and remember under that, but I don't think you'll pick it up on camera. But I did exactly the same. I stamped over the top of everything. I put the white dragonfly over the top. I haven't added a word yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to add to that, but that is using the gel plate, which is available at CraftStash now. You can buy the gel plate on its own. You can buy it in a bundle with a brayer. There's lots there. And don't forget as well, if your budget can stretch, to throw in the watercolour inks too. You've got the 2 different colourways there. Or just grab both because they're amazing and they last you such a long time. You can mix them with texture paste and gesso, paints, all sorts. Now I need to come back to my face because I've got lots of important announcements to make. Lots and lots. Now, let's first of all do the winner from the Craftathon. Let's talk about Craftathon. It was amazing. It was absolutely fantastic, honestly. We had over 800, getting on for 900 people who donated across the day. So we started at 8 a.m. in the morning with live crafting demonstrations all the way through until it was around about 9:30 at night that we finished. So it was myself and Sam Calcott hosting as such for the day, and we thoroughly enjoyed. We were exhausted, but we thoroughly enjoyed it. We kind of seesawed through the day to give each other a breather, but we had people like Phil Martin, John Lockwood, Sheena joined us as well. We had Lisa Horton, we had Sarah Gray from Funky Fossil, we had Christina Griffiths, Helen Griffin, Sam and I both. There were so many people, honestly, and we all had sort of 30 to 40 minute slots. If you missed it, I'm surprised because we've shouted about it for the past week. If you did miss it, you can go onto YouTube and you can see all of those demonstrations there. But what we were asking for is throughout the day is for your donations to the DEC Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal. I'm going to be sending some money to the DEC to help provide those in the war-torn Ukraine with food, water and shelter and anything else that can pay for that helps them. Obviously, we have our lovely paper discovery designer, Olga Directorenko. She is on the CraftStash team and she is out there. She's not out there, she has actually made it to safety in another country, we're really pleased to say, but we wanted to help her and everyone else in the Ukraine as well. So, first of all, the winner, the one winner we didn't announce because it was right at the very end, was during the time that Lisa Horton was demonstrating, and the winner from that is Claudia Kewitt. Well done to you, congratulations. If you can email customer service at craftstash.co.uk with your postal address and we will get your prize out to you. That was a prize that I believe Lisa was supplying herself, so that's lovely. And I know you want to know how much we raised. I wish I could bring Sam on because I think she deserves to be able to announce this as well at the time. But unfortunately, we should have sorted this out. But between everyone, every single one of you, there was in total from yourselves a massive £6,500, roughly, give or take. But Practical Publishing and CraftStash have decided to round that up and add to the donations to make that up to £7,000. So I think you all deserve a fantastic clap, and to all our crafters as well, everyone who took part on the day. So we will be sending £7,000 to the DEC. So hopefully that goes a little way towards helping. Thank you to everyone who came in, gave their time for all the crafting that day. Again, you can still go back and watch all the demonstrations. There's absolutely no selling for the whole day. How wonderful does that sound? But beautiful demonstrations and fantastic, fantastic donations. Thank you so much to every one of that 800 and something of you that donated. So that's out the way. Now I've got some more winners. This is all really exciting. So the first winner from today who's going to win one of my full geometrics collections is Lynn Harrison, watching on Facebook. Congratulations to you, Lynn. Again, if you can email that same email address, that's customer service at craftstash.co.uk, we can get the prize out to you as soon as possible. And then on YouTube watching, we've got Jeanette Morrison. Well done to you too. So congratulations to both of you also. And thank you, all of you. Now, I just need to remind you that we have got the offer on. So if you're spending over £15 on geometrics, then you're going to be able to purchase the Papercraft Society box that I showed you for just £12.99. That's coming down from £27.99. We have also got, oh, I forgot to tell you as well, we have got Jane Davenport back on CraftStash. Have a look for those products online. They are absolutely beautiful. There's new today, there's some stamp stencils and washi tape, which you're going to love. If you love this sort of thing, I think that's right up your street. Go and see that. The gel plate's available as well. If you want to have a play with that, by all means order one, and then go and check out CraftStash and my YouTube for lots of tutorials on that too. I think that's everything. Let me just check my notes. I think I've mentioned everything for today. Yes, so we've done winners, we've announced the amount. Yeah, I think we're done. I think you can go and enjoy your weekend. Make sure you go shopping for geometrics because I don't think it's going to hang around along this collection. And I will see you back again next Friday with the lovely Christina Griffiths. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful weekend. I hope the sunshine that's here spreads across to all of you. Take care. I'll see you soon.